So I think not only Florentino Perez 2.0 is it better than the first one, I would argue he has gotten better every year.
Is the ability that they have to make sure that they build the team with keeping some of the old guards with them to make sure that they can explain to the guys coming, the young guys coming, what Real Madrid is.
Real Madrid are the kings of the Champions League. From Ramos' 93rd minute header, to Rodrigo's brace in the dying minutes of the game against Manchester City, to Joselu's game-winning goal, Real Madrid have come up with a miracle time and time again. They won 5 consecutive titles from 1956 to 1960, setting the standard for what it meant to be a successful European team. Then from 2014 to 2024, they won another 5 Champions League. So how is it possible that no matter the manager, no matter which players they have, no matter what the score is even at the 90th minute, Real Madrid continue to dominate the most prestigious tournament in club football? Perez has been working on a secret strategy to help Real Madrid dominate European football ever since his first appointment in 2000. He wanted to change the mentality and trajectory of the club because at the time, people thought that Real Madrid were cursed. After winning their 9th Champions League title in 2002, Madrid went on a long period of disappointments. Despite having the likes of Zidane, Beckham, R9 and Figo, Los Blancos could not win the 10th Champions League title. La Decima. In 2004, they were eliminated by Monaco in the quarterfinals via away goals. In 2005, Juventus sent them home in the round of 16. Then the following year, Madrid experienced the same fate, this time at the hands of Arsenal. The next 3 years, from 2006 to 2009, weren't any better, losing to Bayern Munich, Roma, and Liverpool. The almighty Madrid team, a club that had won the tournament 9 times before, couldn't get past the round of 16 despite having some of the most talented players in the world. It was clear that they needed a special moment to break that curse and channel the energy that made Madrid so special. When Perez regained presidency in 2009, he continued his Galactico policy, but this time he was smarter. He went crazy in the summer of 2009, purchasing Kaká for a record-breaking deal, then breaking the record again by picking up Cristiano Ronaldo, 2 players who were Ballon d'Or winners. They also signed Benzema and Xabi Alonso. Spending in excess of 261 million euros, Real Madrid were assembling Galacticos 2.0. But the 2009-2010 season was a transitional one, as Madrid were eliminated once more in the round of 16, this time by Lyon. But there were some shining moments that showed progress in Perez's plan, like the new signing Ronaldo getting 33 goals despite being injured for 7 weeks. Perez realized that having this many talented players meant that he would need an equally talented coach to be able to manage all their egos. Enter Mourinho in May of 2010. Who better to lead Madrid back to glory but a manager who self-proclaimed himself as the special one? Madrid under Mourinho was special. They were one of the few teams to actually compete against prime Barcelona as they won La Liga in the 2011-2012 season. They got 100 points, scored a total of 121 goals, and had a goal difference of plus 89. But while they were picking up form domestically, the curse of the Champions League was still there. In the 2010-2011 season, Mourinho did help Madrid finally get past the round of 16, but they lost to Barcelona in the semifinals. Then in the 2012 season, they got all the way to the semifinals again, but lost to Bayern Munich in a penalty shootout. Perez's Galactico signings had failed, as both Ronaldo and Kaká failed to convert their penalty. The next season, Madrid reached the semifinals again for a 3rd time in a row, but were eliminated by Jurgen Klopp's Borussia Dortmund. This was the infamous match where Robert Lewandowski scored 4 times. But while they didn't win La Decima under Mourinho, they got closer than they had ever gone in the previous years. In fact, the mentality around the club had changed drastically from the Madrid teams we saw previously that couldn't get past the round of 16 for 6 straight years. Mourinho had laid the foundation for the mentality monsters that Madrid would become. Still in search of European dominance, Carlo Ancelotti succeeded Mourinho to become the manager of Real Madrid. With Ancelotti, the spending didn't stop as Perez broke the world record again, signing Gareth Bale for 100 million euros. They got their revenge on Borussia Dortmund in the quarterfinals, defeating Klopp's men 5-0 in aggregate, with new signing Bale making his mark in just the 3rd minute. Then in the semifinals, they eliminated Bayern Munich. After consistently falling short, Real Madrid were back in the Champions League final for the first time since 2002. In that final, despite having an insane amount of quality on the pitch, Real Madrid could not break Atletico down. As the 90th minute arrived, it seemed that Real Madrid would still not be able to break the curse. But in the 93rd minute, a miracle happened. Sergio Ramos scored from the corner to equalize. After that goal, the entire momentum changed, and Real Madrid scored 3 more times to win the game 4-1. This really was one of the most pivotal moments in Real Madrid's history. They didn't give up and showed that they had become mentally a much stronger side than any of the previous Real Madrid teams. Their mentality and desire for winning was so strong that it didn't matter which players left or who the manager was, Real Madrid continued to dominate from this period. Even when they were winning, Perez was adding new signings to the team, like when he signed Toni Kroos, Keylor Navas, and James Rodriguez. And he was also getting rid of players that were once so important to Madrid. Angel Di Maria had been the man of the match in the 2014 Champions League final, but he was no longer on the squad when Real Madrid reached another Champions League final in 2016. Carlo Ancelotti was no longer the manager either. Despite being in his first head coaching role ever, Zidane and Madrid achieved what many people thought was impossible. They pulled a fantastic comeback against Wolfsburg in the Champions League quarterfinals thanks to a hat-trick from Cristiano Ronaldo. They then beat Manchester City in the semi-finals to reach their second Champions League final in 3 years. In a hard-fought contest that ended 1-1 after 120 minutes, Real Madrid became European champions once more after defeating Atletico. Madrid's dominance continued to the next season as well. Led by Cristiano Ronaldo once more, Madrid won back-to-back Champions League titles after defeating Juventus. The experience this team now had, along with the sheer talent, made them impossible to be defeated. They had become the first team to successfully defend their title in the UEFA Champions League era. Then in 2018, Real Madrid made history again, winning the Champions League for a 3rd consecutive time. The first club to win 3 straight titles in the Champions League era. Now at this point, I know what you're probably saying. Of course Real Madrid are winning these titles. They had Mr. Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest player we've ever seen in the competition, as they won the competition again in 2022. No Ronaldo, barely any Bale, no Zidane, no Ramos, Casillas, or Ozil. Real Madrid continued to win even after getting rid of some of the biggest legends ever in their club's history. From Benzema, Vinicius Jr., and Courtois. The midfield trio of Modric, Casemiro, and Kroos continued to show that they are one of the greatest trios in sports, as they were one of the few factors to remain constant throughout all of these Champions League runs. Kroos and Modric are now developing the next generation of Madrid's midfielders. What made the 2022 run so special was that it showcased how strong Madrid are mentally in this competition compared to the other clubs. They look to be out of most games, having less possession and less shots against the likes of PSG and Manchester City. In fact, the game against Manchester City, they were down 5-3 on aggregate with only a 1% chance of winning. But Madrid did what they do best, pulling a miracle out of nowhere. Rodrigo scored twice in the 90th minute before Benzema scored the winning goal in extra time. Real Madrid don't just win games. They give you a false sense of security and hope before they just take it away. They aren't reliant on one system or tactical approach either. While Madrid teams in general have been a counter-attacking side, which is perfect for knockout football, they aren't all the same. The 2022 team that pulled off the miraculous comeback against Manchester City played 4-3-3 with Benzema as the number 9. But the 2024 team that reached the final didn't start with a natural striker. Instead, they rotated between a 4-4-2 and 4-4-2 diamond, often with Bellingham in behind Rodrigo and Vinicius. The reason that Madrid are able to play such a fluid style of play is because of Ancelotti's tactics and Perez's ability to get the best players on the market, getting players that are versatile. This versatility is Real Madrid's biggest strength, as it makes them unpredictable. It was actually their defensive solidity that helped them defeat Manchester City in the Champions League quarterfinals. With Joselu as their only striker replacement after Benzema's departure, without their first choice center backs, and a 3rd choice goalie, Real Madrid still found themselves in yet another Champions League final. Above everyone, the mastermind behind Real Madrid's success has been Perez. Ruthless and smart, it's been his decisions that have allowed Real Madrid to keep succeeding for a long period of time. He's found the right balance between spending big and developing players that are already at the club. With Perez as the mastermind behind it all, no matter who comes and goes, Madrid has the formula to continue dominating the Champions League. In fact, one of Perez's most genius moves was signing Jude Bellingham. To see how Bellingham has become one of the world's best players in Real Madrid, check out this video right here.